Okay, so the
My
three,
Zoom got an update.
what?
My Zoom got an update.
Oh, cool. So the three of you that watched the video or did the slides and did the Google, thank you. Did you like my attempt at humor with Big Bird and Cookie Monster? I was supposed to do the video with like Mr. Ehrlitz and Wagner or Miss Kilbane, but then I got sick and I couldn't do it at school, so I had to improvise and come up with something to do. So you got to see my granddaughter's new toys. That's why I did that. All right, so we are starting on simple interest today. And we're going to do a quick review and then we'll go over some practice problems. So let me move this up out of the way. All right. How can simple interest be calculated? Does anybody remember from the video or from the slides or even the video? I even said it at the end of the video. Riley, how?
By using the formula.
And do you remember what the formula is? It's okay if you don't. No? Maddie, do you remember the formula?
Yes, A equals P parentheses 1 plus RT parentheses.
Oh, where'd you get that from?
I saw that one as an example.
That's not the formula.
Not on Google Slides. Not on Google Slides.
That's not the formula. Okay? That's not the one I want you to use. The one I want you to use is much simpler.
You're muted.
Sorry, that was an accident.
Unmute myself. Am I good now? Okay. So the formula that I want you to use is I equals PRT, where I is interest, and interest is money, and it can either be earned or paid. P is for principal, not the principal like Miss Casey, but principal as in money, and it can either be a deposit or an invest. You invest in something, you are putting principal, or it can be a loan. If you go to the bank and you borrow money, or even when you run your credit card, that's technically a loan, so that would be the principal. The rate is a percentage, and it's always going to be written as a decimal, and time is time, but it needs to be written in years. Okay? So this is the formula I want you to use, I equals PRT. So what are some important things to remember when using this formula? Well, we kind of talked about them. The principal is the amount of money borrowed or loaned. The rate is the interest rate and must be written in decimal form. That's why we've been practicing going back, writing percentages. And the time is the amount of time it takes to pay back the loan or the amount of time the money that is left in the savings account. Time must be written in years. So let's try one quick example together. And what I like to do is I create myself a cheat table over here so that as I'm reading the problem, I'm thinking to myself, is that interest, is that rate, or is that time? Because I'm going to be using this formula. As soon as I see the word simple interest, in my head I go, okay, I'm using I equals PRT. So Noah wants to buy a new gaming system. He has found one he likes, but it costs $2,500. He goes to the bank and they agree to lend him the $2,500 for 18 months at 6% simple interest. How much will the gaming system cost in total? So now I'm going to go to my cheat table. Well, I know interest is money and principal is money. So it looks like the only thing in the problem that I have is money is this $2,500. So is that interest or is that principal? What do you think?
It's principal.
Principal, good. Get out of this so I can type in this. Okay, so next to principal, I am going to type,
The rate.
give me a minute here. I'm going to type in that $2,500 because what I'm doing is making like a cheat table. All right, now I come over here and I see this 18 months. Well, I know months is time, so I'm going to put 18 months, but then I remember I can't use it as months. I have to use it as years. So 18 months equals how many years?
1 year and 6 months.
And that would be 1.5 years, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to think of 1.5 years. I could also have just left it as 18 over 12. Just put the 12 in the denominator, and I could have used it that way, but sometimes it's simpler to simplify it. Either way will work. Okay, then I see this 6%, and I know 6% is the rate, but to use it, I have to use it in its decimal.
Decimal.
So as a decimal, it's going to be, what's it going to be?
0.04.
No.
I mean, 06.
6. There you go.
Sorry.
Okay, percent is per 100. So because we're going back to the decimal form, we are going to divide it by 100, which is the same thing as moving the decimal point over 2 places. So the decimal is assumed to be after the 6. So we're going to move it 2 places to the left, and that's how we get 0.06. All right, so it looks like I know everything except for the interest. Well, since I know these 3 things, I can find that 4th thing. So now I'm going to come over here to the equation and I'm going to plug in or substitute in what I know and solve for what I don't know. Well, I don't know I, so I'm going to keep the I. I know the principal is 2,500. Then I know that the rate is 0.06. And then I know the time is 1.5 years. Now, between the P, the R, and the T is multiplication. So now what I want you to do is take out your calculator and multiply those 3 numbers for me and tell me what you get.
Okay. 2,500.
I got 225.
225, okay. So interest equals 225, and interest is always what?
Interest is always interest. Money.
Money, okay? So that's why I put the $ in front of it. Notice $sign goes in front. Now I'm going to go back and see, did I answer the question they asked me?
No.
Will the gaming system cost in total? So is this the 225 the total cost?
The 225 is what you have to add on to the interest or
Good,
the
right.
not the interest.
So I have to pay the 2,500 back. Plus,
And you have to have the interest of 225.
so how much does this thing cost me?
It is going to cost you $2,725.
Questions you have for me?
I have a question. When we are finding a different form, so if we're trying to find the rate or the percent, what would it be?
I'll show you how to do that. I've got some examples of that, okay?
Okay.
All right, any questions about this problem? All right, anybody need more time to write it down? It's not a practice problem, but if you want to write it down. All right, let's start the practice problems then. So in the first practice problem, they give us the cheat table. It's not a word problem, it's just basically information. So we can jump straight into the equation. I equals PRT. I don't know I, so I'm going to keep the I. Equals, I know the principal is $300. I'm going to multiply that by, what am I going to multiply by? 4?
Yes.
0.04.
There you go, 0.04. And then can I multiply it by 2?
Yes.
Yes, because it's in years. So take out your calculators. Aaron, what'd you get?
My calculator's being difficult for a second.
Okay, we'll wait.
24.
24, good. All right, so I equals 24. Now, what does that 24 mean? 24 what?
Interest.
$24, because interest is always money, okay? So the answer would be $24. Questions you have on that one? Okay, all right, let's look at the next one. Looks like we're given the same things and we're being asked to find the interest. So we're going to keep the I. The principal is $700. We are going to multiply that by 3.5%. So how am I going to write that? Move the decimal point 2 places to the left. 1, 2. So that's going to be 0.035. Questions on how I did that? Okay, can I multiply it by 9?
No,
Why not, Riley?
because it's in months.
Right, so I'm going to change that to 9/12. Could I go ahead and simplify it into 3/4? Yes. Could I use 0.75? Yes, because they're all the same value. Okay. All right, so take out your calculators and tell me how much interest or what your calculator says this time. So Timothy, what does your calculator say?
I'm still trying to find.
Okay. Maddie, what's your calculator say?
Mine says 18.375.
0.375. Now, what do we know about interest? Interest is always
Money.
money. So this is going to be $18 and how many cents?
38.
38. Okay, that 7 is in the hundredths place, so the 5 makes it go up to an 8. Do we understand that? Okay. Questions you still have on that? Okay, does anybody need more time to write it down? No? Okay, I have a question for y'all. Can you see the grid of who I'm looking at on the screen share, or all you seeing is the slide?
All
I'm
we're
just
seeing is a
slide.
slide.
Just the slide.
Can you see the mouse moving?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I'm just making sure. All right, nobody needs more time? All right, well then let's move on to problem number 3. We have, got to move this out of the way, I can't see the problem. All right, looks like we are given our cheat table, but Jordan, here you go. We're not told the rate this time. So we're going to plug in what we know. We know I is 364. We know the principal is 1,300. We don't know the R, so I'm just going to multiply, leave the R. And then we know it's in 7 years, so we can multiply it by 7. So now it's just an equation. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this right-hand side, and we can multiply the 1,300 times 7 because the commutative property says I can change the order when we're dealing with multiplication. So I can go ahead, I can go ahead and multiply 7 times 1,300. So tell me what that is.
9,100.
So this side is going to equal 9,100 R. So how do we solve for R? Well, what's connected to the R?
9,100.
How is it connected?
Multiplication.
So we are going to use division and do that. So I'm going to divide both sides by what?
7.
What's attached to the R?
900. 9,100.
So that is what I am dividing both sides by. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Because my goal is to get 1 R. So 9,100 divided by 9,100 is 1. So now I've got 1 R over there. So what do I have over here on the left-hand side? So what is 364 divided by 9,100?
0.04.
Okay. And that's what our R is. Now, rate is always what?
Percentage.
Our percentage, good. So this is in decimal form. What is it in a percentage?
4%.
There you go. All right. Questions on how I did that one? Jordan, how do you feel about that? Okay, guess he's not there anymore. All right, let's look at, okay. This
I
one,
was just working on it.
this one, we're not given the principal. We're being asked to find the principal. So we're going to plug in what we know into the equation. We know I is 440. We don't know the principal, so we're going to keep the P. Then we're going to multiply it times the rate. And how am I going to write that? 0.05.
0.05.
05.
Good. And then I'm going to multiply it by 4. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, because it's in years. All right, so go ahead and take out your calculator. Solve this right-hand side for me. Or simplify it. You're not solving it. Simplify it.
0.2.
0.2. And then we got P attached to it. All right, so we want to solve for P. So it looks like it's attached by multiplication. So we're going to
Divide.
divide both sides by,
0.2.
there you go, good. Okay, so we're going to divide that by 0.2, and then we're going to come over here and divide this by 0.2. And that is going to give us P equals
2,200.
All right, P is principal. It is always what?
Money.
Money. So this would be $2,200. Okay, questions on that one? Okay, how do you feel about that one? All right, nobody said anything, so I guess we're okay. Can I move on?
Yes.
All right. This time we're being asked to find the time. So we know the I, so we're going to plug in the I. And this one is not nice, pretty numbers, isn't it? Okay, equals 2,455. How am I going to write that rate?
0.03.
There you go. And then we don't know time, so we're just going to leave it t. Then I'm going to go ahead and simplify this, combine these. I can multiply those two together. So what do you get when you multiply those two together?
73.65.
Oh, you got ahead of me there. What'd you say?
73.65.
Okay. Now what are we going to do? What do you
Divide
divide those sides by what?
73.65.
63.65. Probably take me longer to write this than it is for you to put it in your calculator. 73.65. All right, so what do we get?
6.
6. So 6 equals t. And what does that 6 mean?
Years.
Means it will take 6 years to earn that much interest. Okay. Questions about that? So we've done a problem that has had each of the different ones missing. And we just, once we create the equation, we just solve the equation. All right, let's try some word problems. Kylie deposits $4,000 in an account that earns 7% simple interest. How long will it be before the total amount in her account is $6,500? So let's start with the first number we see. What is that $4,000?
Interest.
Kylie deposits $4,000 in an account. What's a deposit?
Principal.
Deposits are principal. So this is $4,000 that earns 7% simple interest. Is that I, R, or T?
R.
Okay, so 7%. And how are we going to write that?
0.0. Wait, yeah, 07.
There you go. All right. And then it says, how long will it be before? So we don't know that. We don't know the time. Do we know the interest?
Yes.
How much is the interest?
6,500.
Hey, does that make sense?
Yes.
Would you put $4,000 in the bank and then the bank says I'm going to give you $6,500 in interest?
That means that they're giving you more than that you wanted.
Does that make sense?
No.
No.
Oh,
Okay. The total amount in her account is $6,500. How much did she put in the account?
$4,000.
4,000.
4,000.
How much of that account is interest? So we have to take that 6,500 and we have to subtract out the $4,000 that she put in, and that leaves us with interest of 2,500. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now we can come over here and we can solve the problem. I, we know, is 2,500 equals, principal is 4,000. The rate is 0.07. And the time we don't know. All right, so take out your calculators and multiply that right-hand side for me.
You get 280.
Okay, 280, and then we've got T attached to it. So what are we going to do to solve that?
Divide.
Divide. Y'all are getting good at that. All right, so we're going to divide both sides by what?
280.
250.
250. Why 250?
I thought that's what, never
What's
mind.
attached to the T? Jordan, what's attached to the T?
2,500.
No, it's not. What's next to the T? Right?
Oh,
The 280 is. So that's what we're going to divide both sides by because we want 1 T. All right. What is 2,500 divided by 280?
8.9.
8.92, and then lots of other numbers.
Okay. So because we are dealing with money, we probably can assume some things have been rounded a little bit. So the 0.9 something, 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 we are going to say that it is 9. Okay, we understand why.
So they rounded the 8.
Well, the 8.9 to, that 8.9 would round up to 9 because you would round to the nearest year. Okay? In this,
Okay.
if you had put 8.9, I would have counted it right. Okay, make sense? Questions you have? All right, can I move on? Anybody need more time? All right. A deposit of $10,000 was made to an account the year you were born. After 12 years, the account is worth $16,000. What was the simple interest rate? So once again, we're going to make our cheat table. What's this $10,000?
the $10,000
Principal.
is the deposit.
Yeah.
So the
Deposit, and that's the principal. I heard somebody say the principal. Whoops. All right, the 12 is what?
the
Time.
amount of years, so the time.
And it's in years, so we're good. We don't know the rate. How about that 16,000? Is that the interest?
No,
Why not? That's the other money.
that's how much it. Oh wait, yeah, that's the interest.
So do you think the bank is going to give you $16,000 after 12 years if you only deposited $10,000?
No.
No, they are not. Okay, just like the previous problem, one says the account is worth $16,000. That's the whole account. Your account is made up of the principal plus the interest. So I have to take the principal out of that to find out how much is interest. So how much interest did they earn?
6,000.
$6,000. Okay, questions on that? All right, so now it's just a matter of plugging in what we know. So we've got 6,000 equals 10,000 times the rate, which we don't know, times the time, which we know is 12. So we can combine the terms on the right-hand side. So Lizzie, what do we get when we multiply 10,000 times 12?
I don't have a calculator right now.
You get 120,000.
Just add zeros, sweetie.
Just get 120,000.
Uh-huh. All right. So what is attached to the R?
120,000.
So what are we going to do to both sides?
Divide.
By
0.05
why 0.05?
because it's 120,000, so you have to divide it to get the dang it.
Oh, you're a step ahead of me. Okay.
If
What
the
are we going to
interest
divide both sides by?
120,000.
There you go. You got ahead of me, Jordan. That's okay.
sorry.
It's all right. And then you
Wait, so
get 0.05,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Now, what is interest always in?
percent,
So that is going to be what percent did you earn?
5%.
5%.
5%. Yeah.
Questions you have for me?
I'm starting to get the hang of this now.
Yeah. All right, last problem. You have $450 to put in a savings account. In 9 months, how much more will you have at 8.5% interest than at 8% interest? So if you can put that $450 into an account, let's say at BB&T, and they're going to pay you 8.5%. And if I go to Navy Federal Credit Union, they're only going to give me 8%. I want to know how much more money am I going to earn at BB&T? All right, so give me a strategy. What are we going to do?
You could multiply 450 times 9 and then subtract, 450 times 10, subtract 1, and then that's how much money you would have in 9 months. So it
No.
would be,
50 times 10.
450 times 10, and then 450 minus what you get from that.
Where are you getting the
You
10?
won't use that because it's not, the rate isn't right. No, the time isn't right.
Okay, all right, let's try making our cheat table. Let's see what that does for us. What is the 450?
The 450 is the
Interest.
If you have $450 to put in a savings account,
It's the principal?
that's the principal, that's a deposit. Okay, 9 months. Well, that's
time.
But what does time have to always be in?
Years.
Years.
So what do I have to use for that?
It would be
9 divided by 12? 9/12?
3/4
I could use,
of a year.
or I could use 0.75. They're all the same value. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Now, I'm looking to find the interest, but the rate I have is 8.5% here and 8% here. What is the difference between those two rates?
There is 1/2 more than on one of them. So
if I just figure out that 0.5%, am I going to find out how much more money I get at BB&T?
no. What? No.
Anybody else want to weigh in on that?
I'm gonna say no because you still have to multiply it by everything else. So if you just find the 1/2%, then
Let's try it. So we're going to do 8.5%. And then we're going to do it again with 8% and subtract the 2. Is that what you want to do?
yes.
Okay, because this is finding the interest earned at BB&T.
So it would be 8.5
Wait a minute, let me move this over.
times 450 times 0.75, and then
Okay, well, okay,
the 0.75 is the 9 months.
okay, gotcha. So this is going to be what? 0.085, and this is going to be, oh, I got hands up. Riley, what are you thinking over there?
Oh, I didn't realize I had my hand up.
Oh, okay, I thought I saw a hand up.
I don't have a calculator, so this is going to take me a little while.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So on the left side where it says 8.5% equals 0. Okay, never mind. I thought that had a plus sign. Because
I hit plus instead of equals. I fixed it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if 0.5, if you were making it into a decimal, that would equal 0.085 in a decimal.
This 8.5 is 0. You took that 0.5% that we were talking about a minute ago, that would be 0.005.
Okay.
All right. So I want somebody to find out how much money you earn here. If your birthday is January to June, figure out this side. If you're July through December, figure out that side. Using I equals PRT. So how much interest do we earn over here?
Don't know.
Take your calculators. 450 times 0.085.
Is it 28.6875?
And it's money, so how much money is that gonna be?
$29?
Nope, round to the hundredths place. You said
28.7.
6875 is what your calculator says, right?
Yes.
28.7.
Money, that would be $28 and 69 cents. See where I got that?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it the second?
On the other side, Riley, do you have this side for me?
Yes. I'm not sure whether I got it right or not.
Okay, tell me what you got.
I got 27.
You did, you got it right.
Oh.
Okay, now, this is how much you earn at BB&T. This is how much you earn at Navy Fed. So what are they asking us to find?
They're trying to ask us to find the distance or the difference in amount of money
Okay,
between the two.
so if we take the difference between the two of them, so we're going to take 2869 and we're going to subtract.
It's going to end up getting 1.69.
And that's money. So how much money did we?
$1.69.
Yep, we ended up making $1.69 more.
We rich.
Okay, now what I want you to take your calculator and do for me is 450 times 0.005 times 9/12.
Can you say that again?
I'll write it out right here. 450 times 0.5%. That's 0.5% times the 9/12. What do you get?
16.88.
I'm in the wrong place. You didn't put in.
You get 1.6875.
Yeah, isn't that $1.69?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. You can solve this problem by finding how much interest you earn at this bank, find out how much you earned at that bank, and then subtract the two. Or I could have subtracted the interest rates at the very beginning and then use that as the interest rate, because that's how much more money I'm making, is 0.5% more. Okay? Either way works. If the initial way makes more sense to you, then do that. Okay? Questions you still have for me? Are we feeling better about simple interest?
Yes.
Yes, no, I don't know. Okay. All right, I saw a thumbs up. Yay, I got a thumbs up. Okay, what you are going to do now is I have assigned you a quizzes just to get some practice. You have 2 attempts, the top 2 scorers from each class. So third core, we'll get candy next week on your day that you come to school. Okay. After the second attempt, it will show you the answers. So if you get it wrong, what I really want you to do is go back and look at the answer and then figure out how they got that answer. Okay. Use it as a learning tool. And that's all you have left to do for today.
The problems that we just did with those are practice problems.
Those were the practice problems, okay?
Okay.
All right, those of you that have taken the test, the mid-unit test, and I've graded it and you aren't happy with your grade, you can do the error analysis and then retest. If you would like help with the error analysis, I am available tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 to do error analysis with you. Okay? All right, so y'all have a good evening and good luck on your quizzes.
Bye. Bye.
Miss Laird,
What?
you there?
I'm here.